G'day fellas. In this video we're going to be covering an article that was released by WCCF Tech where they stated that Age of Empires 4 is in a fully playable state. Focus is now on balance and polish. Now if you're like me, you read that title and your heart just jumped. That's incredibly exciting. So I went a little bit further to try and dig deeper and see where they actually got this from. So it turns out on the 29th of December, an Age of Empires 2020 in review with Shannon Loftus was posted on the Age of Empires website, where they started and talked about Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition and then Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, and then down at the very bottom, they talked about Age of Empires 4. And what they said was this: "We're making great progress on Age of Empires 4. I don't want to make you jealous, but we are literally playing this game every single day, both in Washington and in Vancouver. RTS development is funny. It takes a while to build the separate systems, AI, economy, sim, rendering, etc. And then it takes a while for them to come together. But when they do, you suddenly have a game that needs debugging and balance and polish, but the core of the game that you know you're going to ship. And the best part is that it feels like an Age of Empires game." Now, to me, I read that and that excites me incredibly. There have been rumors in the Age of Empires community that Age of Empires 4 is ongoing in its testing, that there is an active alpha out at the moment, but obviously it would be under an NDA, that there's apparently a beta that's going to be planned for either Q2 or Q3 this year, and then potentially in Q4 we're going to be looking at a release. And to me, this only just fans those flames. I'm thinking this is definitely a 2021 release we're looking at for Age of Empires 4, and that excites me immensely. Age of Empires 4 is a welcome addition to the Age of Empires series, and a lot of people think it's going to be the game that unites both Age of Empires 2 and Age of Empires 3 players. And the reason why we know this is because in an interview that was done back in 2019 with IGN, a developer for Age of Empires 4, Adam Eisgreen, stated that it's going to be back in the medieval era, but it's going to be a wider time period than what was covered in the second Age of Empires, with the lead developer talking about it leading up to the end of the Renaissance era. And so in the video that's playing behind me, we see the British and we see the Mongols, and one of the things that Adam Eisgreen talks about is that the Mongols don't play like a civilization from any Age of Empires game, which is incredibly intriguing. Age of Empires 2 and 3 typically don't share a lot of variety in their civilizations and the way that the civilizations play. Whereas if we look at, say, comparable RTS games like StarCraft, where you've got the Zerg versus the Terran, there are significant differences in the way that they play and the way that they feel. Or even if we were to look at, say, a game like Grey Goo, where you've got the Goo that just play completely different to the other civilizations in the game. I suspect that we might see something like this. The Mongols were famous for being nomadic, which means that we might see a town center out of them. But when it actually comes to hard buildings that lock down, my suspicion is that we're probably not going to see much more. In Age of Empires Online, which is a game that flopped, we did see a lot of interesting new mechanics. It was sort of like Age of Empires 2, but as an example, the lumber camp was on wheels for some civilizations. You could move them around wherever you wanted. So perhaps we'll see something more like that for the Mongols, or maybe we might see pastures that are actually guarded by shepherds that continue to move throughout the map. So there's a lot of interesting potential mechanics that we're going to be seeing. And then obviously we've got the Britons who are your stock standard civilization. They've got the walls, they've got the castles, they've got the towers, they got everything you'd expect to see from a medieval civilization, and probably what most civilizations in the game are actually going to be looking like. Unfortunately, the article doesn't really release any further information for Age of Empires 4, other than to sort of make us jealous, despite saying that they don't want to make us jealous, that Age of Empires 4 is in a playable state. So if you've made it to this point in the video, and this video has been uploaded in the last 4 hours, I encourage you to come over to twitch.tv/Aussie_Drongo and check out our Twitch stream. We're live at the moment, we'll be streaming Age of Empires 3. So jump on, say g'day, and I'll see you over there. Thank you for watching.